in the UK. British scientists are launching a £40 million government-funded geoengineering experiment to literally test dimming the sun in the name of solving climate change. The government's Advanced Research and Invention Agency, or ARIA, aims to block sunlight reaching the Earth's surface with projects that include spraying aerosols in the atmosphere to make clouds brighter, which will then reflect sunshine. What could go wrong? If successful, ARIA thinks the plan could temporarily reduce surface temperatures, which would then give humans more time to reduce carbon emissions before climate change sends us all to hell. Aerosols would be sprayed into the atmosphere using boats or aeroplanes, which is interestingly a similar process to the one parroted by so-called conspiracy theorists who have been complaining for years about what they call chemtrails in our skies, like these on your screen now.
You may start to see something new on food labels. The word bioengineered will replace the old term GMO.
Consumer reporter Susan Hogan is working for you to explain this change so that you can make some smart and healthy choices for your family.
Well, that's right. Both the new term bioengineered and the one it's replacing, GMO, refer to foods that have had their DNA altered to either enhance their nutritional value or make them resistant to disease. So if you pay attention to food labels, you've probably seen GMO on some products made with food like corn and soybeans, foods like canola oil or sugar. But now GMO will be called bioengineered on food labels. The changes are part of the USDA's new rules that went into effect this year to create a national standard for labeling. The words mean the same thing, but some critics say because GMOs have a bad rap, changing the name is somewhat deceitful to consumers.
Now to a report that might have you shaking your head or scratching it. Imagine controlling the mosquito population by releasing more mosquitoes. The Environmental Protection Agency signed off on a company releasing genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida and Texas. Araceli Hernandez looked into how it works.
Dr. Sonia Swigger is an expert in the little things and even the not so little.
So each one can be very different. Some of our really tiny ones bite on tree frogs, so they're really itty bitty mosquitoes. And then some of our larger Saurophora are about an inch and a half. I mean, they're pretty good sized females.
Mosquitoes like that can bite through your clothing. Those are female mosquitoes. The more they bite, the more they breed.
They need that blood to produce their eggs. So it's just a slow removal, in a sense, kind of like a little syringe in which they come in and, kind of suck the blood up as needed, and then they move on.
The EPA's approval may stop that. Biotech company Oxitec wants to fight mosquitoes with more mosquitoes. It will genetically create a new male mosquito that can help wipe out the female bloodsuckers before.
Biotechnology researchers are developing edible vaccines in plants, such as bananas and potatoes, which immunize against diseases such as hepatitis B and human papillomavirus. These vaccines are currently in various stages of testing. Even in the U.S., it is hoped that creating easier vaccination delivery methods will increase rates of vaccination. With the introduction of a flu vaccine delivered by a nasal spray, individuals 2 to 49 years of age can now significantly reduce their risk of getting some types of flu each winter without the need for an injection. Whether helping to prevent an achy throat, a runny nose, and even cancer, or bring vaccinations to developing nations, biotechnology advances in the world of vaccines are finding ways to make the world a little healthier every day.
A US man's become the first person in the world to get a heart transplant from a genetically modified pig. Doctors in Maryland were granted a special dispensation by the US medical regulator to carry out the procedure because the patient was too ill to receive a human donor organ. Well, it's hoped the surgery may be a game changer in solving the organ shortage crisis. Tanya Dendrinos reports a warning that some of the images are graphic.
Precious cargo being wheeled into the operating theatre. But this was no ordinary transplant. This donor heart belongs to a genetically modified pig.
He had had previous heart surgery, so it took a while to prepare the operative site such that we could remove his heart and replace it with that of the animals.
The recipient is 57-year-old David Bennett. Ineligible for a human transplant, this 7-hour, first-of-its-kind procedure was considered the last chance of saving his life.
He was pretty well convinced by multiple doctors who had told him he had a fatal disease and he was unlikely to leave the hospital because of it. With that as a background, as an alternative, he said to me two very important things. He said, I don't want to die. And he said, if I do, maybe you'll learn something to help others.
To be able to recode genetics, which is obviously a dodgy situation. But that's the thing, we're close to saturation on lifespan. I mean, it's sort of pretty much leveled out. And so even if you solve, say, any one particular disease, you maybe slightly improve life expectancy, but not a lot. It's just like you kind of have a genetic programming any given species for a certain lifespan. Like you cannot make a fruit fly live for 10 years, no matter what you do. I mean, no amount of healthy living, vitamins, or anything. It's like, so.
Ray Kurzweil's fruit flies live for 20 years.
that would be a truly astounding achievement. But yeah, so I mean, it's a really tricky subject. It's fraught with all sorts of moral issues, but that's the thing that would most affect people's lives.
Warning what could be a game changer for people living with severe physical disabilities. Elon Musk revealing a second patient has been implanted with Neuralink, an experimental brain-computer interface that allows patients to control technology with their mind. Musk is a co-founder of the startup.
I don't want to jinx it, but it seems to have gone extremely well with the second implant. So there's a lot of signal, a lot of electrodes. It's working very well.
Not much is known about the second patient, including when they received the implant, but we do know they suffered a spinal cord injury, just like Nolan Arbaugh.
This is all from there to there. Yeah, man.
Arbaugh was the first Neuralink patient. He opened up to Good Morning America back in May.
I was just very happy that I would be a part of something that I believe is so monumental and this next step forward of helping people with paralysis.
Musk says he...
Inbox, you say click start a new email.
Yeah, I don't have to say anything. It's just I think I want to click and it clicks.
Wow.
Left click, right click, whatever I want. And then after that, I will either use dictation or I can use a virtual keyboard on my computer screen to type out whatever I want to say. And then again, just click and it sends.
Witchcraft has historically been associated with fringe groups, occult practices, and alternative spirituality. And while it's true that some modern witches do identify with these labels, witchcraft has also played a significant role in the development of scientific thought. Think about it. Many of the earliest scientists were also alchemists, occultists, and yes, even witches. The boundaries between magic and science were blurred in the early days of scientific inquiry, and many of the pioneers of modern science were comfortable operating in both realms. But how does this square with our modern understanding of science as a rational, evidence-based discipline? Can we really reconcile the idea of witches and warlocks with the empirical method and the scientific revolution? The answer lies in the historical context, and in the ways that witchcraft practices influence the development of scientific methods. Herbalism, for instance, was a key aspect of witchcraft that paved the way for early pharmacology. Witches were known for their knowledge of plants and their healing properties, and this knowledge was later adopted and adapted by early scientists. The pursuit of alchemy, another area of witchcraft, laid the groundwork for modern chemistry. It's easy to draw a line between the alchemist's quest to turn lead into gold and the modern chemist's pursuit of synthetic materials.
So if you're unaware of what's going on, you remember in the Bible how the Most High gave his commandments to the people that followed him, and then Yashua the Messiah came later and gave his commandments to the entire world? Well, today they are coming up with a new entire set of commandments that has been blessed and backed by the Pope. They are known as the climate change commandments, or the green commandments. What this does is it gives governments the permission to dictate to their people what laws they should follow and obey. This is the new rules that the world is going to have to abide by under this coming new world government. It includes things such as what we eat, where we live, the water we drink, etc., etc. They are going to rule over everything that we do, and we must obey. In this new world, everything is going to become interconnected. There will be no freedom or privacy. You will give permission for your government to monitor and collect data of every single thing that you do in your day-to-day life. And no, you do not have a voice in this matter because your government decided that this was in your best interest for them to rule over every aspect of your entire life. In fact, if you decide that it's best not to be a part of this system, then they are going to make your life almost impossible to live. You're not going to be able to provide meals to your family, nor would you be able to buy anything of that matter. You will become undesirable in this system. You may even end up in a concentration camp, while all the normal people will be absolutely happy and ecstatic living in this Luciferian world order. They will take pride in knowing that they own absolutely nothing at all, including their souls. The Most High warned us that we will be brought up in these times. They pollute the air we breathe, they pollute the food we eat, especially of those who live here in America, aka Mystery Babylon. In Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 13 it says, Yahuah said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles where I will drive them. And this is true to this day. Always pray over your food and give praise to the Most High. Things may not be the way that you want them to be, but we have to go through these things until we get to the next point in life, which will be soon. The Most High is going to call us out of Mystery Babylon, and we have to be ready to go. If not, we are going to receive the parts of her plagues. Revelation 18 verse 4, come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. You see, the end times is going to be very reminiscent of what our ancestors went through in the book of Exodus. In the book of Revelation, it talks a lot about plagues being unleashed, just like it was during the Exodus. So there's some comparisons that we can make from that time to our time. The Pharaoh can be viewed as the government or the Antichrist. Then you have Pharaoh's magicians, which today is the equivalent of our scientists. Remember, it says in the book of Revelation that the merchants of Mystery Babylon use sorcery. They are today's magicians. They come up with all these different types of technologies that goes against the words of the Most High. If we were in ancient Israel and the doctor was to tell an Israelite that they can have the heart of a pig to replace their human heart, that doctor would have probably got stoned to death by most of the city folk. They did not play that back in those times. They took the word of the Most High serious, and that would have been considered sorcery. But today it is considered acceptable, and we are under the hands of the Gentiles, so we can't do nothing about that, right? So that's why he's going to call us out of this system, because he's going to judge it. The plagues are going to come upon them like they came upon the Egyptians. So like the Israelites, we're going to have to decide whether we're going to serve the Most High or if we're going to be servants of the state that has dominion over us. And when that time comes, we are going to be asked to flee till the wilderness to escape out of Babylon, just like the Israelites did. The book of Exodus was a forewarning of what the end times events will look like when it comes to the book of Revelation. the Pharaoh is going to use his magicians, aka scientists, to convince the world that everything that's bad in the world is under their control, despite it being the Most High sending dire warnings for them to repent. If you notice in the book of Revelation, every time the Most High sends down plagues, the people of the world still are unrepentant. Why is that? Because it's going to be these scientists convincing them that they have everything under control and that they have to be obedient to the systems that they have set in place, which is why I mentioned the sustainability goals earlier. This is going to be like their commandments. As long as they are following the system, then everything is going to be appearing fine to them, despite the Most High trying to get them to repent and come out of this wicked system. But their hearts are going to be hardened just like the Egyptians' hearts were hardened. Every time that Moses came to Pharaoh to show him a miracle or a plague from the Most High, all he did was call on his magicians to come and do the same. This was deliberately done to downplay what the Most High was trying to warn them of. You notice throughout Exodus that every plague got more severe, and this was the Most High trying to tell the Pharaoh that he is in complete control. It came to a point where not even the Pharaoh's magicians could keep up with what the Most High was doing. And this is the same thing that's going to happen in these last days. There's going to come a point where they no longer can explain away the plagues that the Most High is going to send. That's why it says in the book of Revelation, when those who receive the mark of the beast start to receive their plagues, they're going to start cursing the Most High. They're going to take their anger out on the Most High, because at that point, they know that it's the Most High who is sending down these plagues. It is not climate change. It is not something that is man-made. It is the Most High warning his creation that he is in control. So if you want no parts of the judgments that is to come upon this world, you need to be prepared to come out of the system. And you can start preparing now. Live a life of repentance. You don't want to have a hardened heart during these times. You want to be able to submit to the Most High's will. Do the things that the Most High loves. Reject evil. Follow the Messiah. Follow his ways. Do not follow other people. Do not blend in with the crowd. There's going to be things in your life that you've been comfortable doing all this time that you might have to do away with. You have to know that it may be uncomfortable for you in the flesh, but it is worth it in the spirit. Yashua the Messiah said that if our hand causes us to sin, to cut it off, or if our eye causes us to sin, to pluck it out. There are things that we have to do in order to make it into the kingdom of heaven. It says faith without works is dead. By your faith, your works will be able to show. If you love the Most High and keep his commandments, that's going to manifest into your life. The people around you are going to notice that you take the word of the Most High serious and that your relationship with him is important. It is not something that you take lightly. They may not understand it at first. They may never understand it. But as long as you stay on the right path, then everything will be all right. These are the last days, so we have to be prepared for our Messiah to come and usher in his kingdom. We have to get ourselves right for that moment so that we can be prepared not to fall into Satan's devices.